the mirror. I'm asking him to change his way. Probably I stop singing. I'll stop singing. There's a message in that though. It starts with the man in the mirror, or in this case, the man in the phone. I don't know. What do I know? The true wise man knows only that he knows nothing. Okay. Let's grab TikTok. All right. Grab the talk. Tick tock. Dibby dibby dibby. You don't stop. All right. Let's call this. Science is a method. And then Science is a method. A method. All right. How do I want to do this intro? How do I want to bring the heat? Gotta organize these thoughts. I don't know. Hey, Stephanie. Good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Just trying to organize my thoughts before I bring TikTok into the equation here. I guess we're going to talk about the scientific experiment that we're doing this week and that I'm going to upload into Homeschools Connected a little bit later today. Nicole and I just finished it up. I just have to edit it, make sure there's not grammatical mistakes, give it one last read over, make sure I didn't mess anything up, and then I got to put it into a PowerPoint, turn it into a PDF, get it into a drive, and then I'll get it to you guys a little bit later today. Very excited about that. All right. Without further ado, science is a method, a xylophone experiment, and... Okay. All right, we're going to do it. Go live. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, TikTok. It is a beautiful rainy day here in the sunny South where the contradiction is always bluer. I don't know. But the point is that it is a rainy day. My plants are very happy. I actually woke up about 4 times last night and it was just pouring rain. And I thought, wow, I would love to be my plants because they must be happy out there in my glorious, glorious orchard. So I'm here, and today we are going to talk about science and teaching children science, and specifically not just about what the public school does wrong, but about what you as a parent can do right. Because we all see what happens in the public school system where children are tasked with memorizing this information or that information, and what you get is a society of people, a population, that are completely and utterly incapable of questioning anyone in a lab coat, which is antithetical to what science truly is. Because if we're teaching our children right, if we're teaching them real science, then we should be teaching them to question everything, because that's the beauty of it. That's what makes it special in the first place. And then, of course, it's a method in which you are attempting to isolate potential variables about what could cause what, and once you isolate those variables, you can get a pretty strong idea of cause and effect and what's causing, what different effects in the world. That is the proper way of, all right, I'm not even going to touch that one, but okay, keep living in La La Land. But, so science is a method, and you want to make sure that your children know that from a young age. So let's talk about a way you can do that. Let me give you an example of an experiment that you can do with your children today. Easy to set up. You have all the materials. You can literally do it right now. So take out 4 mason jars. You take out 4 mason jars and you fill one of them 1/4 of the way up with water, another one halfway up, another one 3/4, and another one all the way to the top. You line them up, and all you need is a chopstick or a wooden dowel right? And you have them in front of you, and when you hit, they'll actually make the same sounds that a xylophone would make. Dun, 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 right? The mason to the top with water makes a low sound, and the mason jar that has just a little bit of water makes a high-pitched sound. So you sit down with your children, and you have a little bit of fun with them. You could play the xylophone a little bit, have a little bit of fun with it. And then you start to have them make a hypothesis. So you say, okay, let's hit the mason jar that's filled with water, and let's hit the mason jar that has a little bit of water. And which one do you think will make a higher pitched sound, right? And you have them do this, and you play with it, and you have them make their different hypotheses, right? And then after you do that, and you have them experiment with them, and you can do fun things. You could do a beat, right? So one of the things I did to teach my child what pitch was when I was doing the experiment is I actually took the mason jar that was filled to the top with water, and I took the mason jar that was just had a little bit of water, and we made a beat, and it went 1 1 2, right? So bum 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 bum, and when I did it, I added a word to it. So I went low low high, low low high, low low high. And as I did that, my son was, okay, so I'm getting this sound is the low sound and the ping is the high sound, right? So you're teaching them about pitch, and you're challenging them as you do it to actually formulate a hypothesis. Then you want to have a talk with your child about what your variables are. What are variables? So you say to them, okay, the independent variable is the thing that we are able to change, right? We're able to control this. We could change it. Maybe we could add a little bit of independent variable. We could take away a little bit of independent variable, right? And of course, we're talking about, and ultimately you want to get them to identify that the water is what they're changing, right? That's your independent variable. And then your dependent variable, the thing that's dependent on the independent variable, the water, is the sound that it's going to produce, right? So you say, you want them to identify that your independent variable is the amount of water. You could change that, right? And that's kind of what you're trying to isolate. And your dependent variable is the sound that the mason jar is going to produce, your water xylophone is going to produce. And by doing that, you're teaching them about the scientific method. And that's why I always tell parents, with everything we do, you want to make sure you set up controls. You want to have scientific controls. You always want them identify the independent and dependent variable. You want to teach them about reliability, validity, right? Can we set up the experiment again and get it to do the same exact thing? In this case, you absolutely can, every time. If you set it up right, it will produce the same results every time. All right, and then you could have fun with it too, and you could change the variables. What happens if we use orange juice, right? Because then what you do is, after you do this demonstration with the scientific method, you could start to introduce concepts. And the concepts that I introduced to my son today, I actually did a few more, but the concepts that I put in the lesson plan are sound waves, vibration, and pitch, right? So, you can introduce the concept of sound waves, that when you do the little ding, it creates a sound wave, and that goes into your ear. And for the lesson, I actually put pictures that could help children understand this. But just for anyone out there listening, you could say, okay, when we go to the beach and you see the water coming in, right? And the water goes up and it crashes down. What are those? And your child thinks about it. Those are waves. Those are waves. Well, now I want you to take your wooden stick, your chopstick, and hit the jar. Ding! You just created a sound wave, but we couldn't see it. And then you could actually pull up a picture of a sound wave and say, this is a picture of a sound wave. This is what you made, just like a wave in the water, but we couldn't see it. And the sound wave, the reason it's there, the reason you produce that wave, which ultimately goes into your ear and you could hear, is there's this thing called a vibration. So when you hit the jar, it vibrated, causing that sound wave. What's a vibration? Well, I want you to take your hand and I want you to hum on your hand. Hum. Do you feel that little shake on your hand? Hum. That little shake you hear, that's a vibration. You can feel the vibration of the sound wave on your hand, right? So you're teaching them all about that. And then the last thing you want them to understand is pitch. And I say, but why do some sound waves sound low and other sound waves sound high, right? Well, the reason for that is something called pitch. So let's think about the water again. When we started this, we talked about water and we talked about waves. Well, when you and I go into the pool, when we're in the pool, is it easy for you to run through that water, or is it hard to run through the water? It's hard to run through the water, right? Do you run faster on the ground through the air? Like when you're on the ground and you're running and there's only air around you, do you run faster or slower than when you're in the water? I run faster. Ah, you run faster. So when you're in the water, you run slower. Yeah, I run slower. Well, the sound wave is kind of like you. And when you ding that jar and the sound wave starts to go through the water, it has a hard time getting through that water. It's thick. It's like, I can't run fast. It's the water's blocking me. Well, the sound wave, it gets slowed down just like you do. It gets slowed down by the water like you get slowed down in a pool. And when it gets slow, the waves start to get longer and slower and longer and slower and longer and slower. But when you ding that jar that doesn't have a lot of water, it's not being blocked. It only has to go through the air. And just like you could run fast on the ground through the air. Well, that sound wave, right? It doesn't have anything blocking it. It doesn't have any resistance. So it goes fast. Bing, bing, right? Right? And you're explaining this in a way that a child can understand it. So you're teaching them about pitch. You're teaching them about vibration, about sound waves, these very complex concepts. And then you just have fun with it. And you're introducing these sound concepts, you're introducing these musical concepts. The reason I chose to do a science lesson about sound this week is because yesterday I released a basic lesson about a beat. What is a beat, right? And we had the children make their own drums. And, you can have fun with it. Like, you don't even have to do the drum idea I had. Like, you can make any type of, like, older kids could make. I might do another lesson this week where the older children build, like, real drums. I think I want to do that, actually. I think I might do that. Yeah, you guys might hate me for that. But, right? And so they built the drum because you want to add context and purpose to what they're learning. And then we had the children learn about beats. And the way we did that is you start your child with just a 1-1-1 beat. Or 1-1-1-1-1-1. And then what I said is after you do that, after your child gets the 1-1-1-1-1, you can use the beat from We Will Rock You. So after that, you go, I use the table. So I go. And then you add the verbal to it. 1-1-2. 1-1-2. 1-1-2. Can you keep the beat? 1-1-2. Can you keep the beat? 1-1-2. Right? And you're just introducing these concepts in a child-friendly way. Any good tips for homeschooling a very high ADHD 5-year-old in kindergarten? Yeah, you gotta let them run. Turn the TV off. That's your worst nightmare. And then you got to let them run around. You got to do a lot of hands-on experiments. Shorten the length of your activities. Like, don't make your child sit down, your 5-year-old sit down for an hour. Like, do a 10 to 20 minute activity and then just let them go get some energy out. A lot of free range play. You might want to set up Montessori style so that your child could learn through play, a lot of building with blocks, and you could introduce concepts as your child is playing. Because you don't want to fight the nature of your child. Like, if you have a child that bounces off the walls, let them bounce off the walls a little bit, right? And then you let them bounce off the walls a little bit. And then what you want to do is introduce like structure as much as you can, but do it in short spurts. So like, let me give an example. One of the things me and Brady did this month, I actually think we might do it again because he asked me about it yesterday, is we made an actual kite, like out of wooden dowels, and like we made an actual kite, construction project style. And when we did that project, he's 4 years old, but, you know, I'm dealing with box cutters, I have a handsaw, right? Like, this is a serious thing. So I was very strict with him, very hard on him. Like, he would go to talk to me about something else, and I'd say, no, right now, this is what we're doing, right? And I was keeping him focused on the task, and we did that in short spurts. And then I put the tools away, and I said, now you have a little more flexibility to, you know, goof off a little bit. So you want to introduce that structure. You want to keep your children moving and engaged, and you don't want to fight their nature too much because there's nothing wrong with your child bouncing off the walls. They're supposed to. They're children. They have an insane amount of energy. Oh, hey there, Jen. Good morning. We were just talking a little bit about our science experiment for the day and what I'm uploading later. Very excited about it. I'm really trying to turn all of these studies into unit studies as much as possible. I think I might make music a theme this week, and I think I might make a lesson for the middle school, high school kids this week. How many times could I say this week in a sentence? I might make a lesson for the middle school and high school students in which we cover 432 versus 440 hertz and how the 432 hertz is a healing frequency and how all of our music was taken off of that frequency and why that happened and the money interest behind that and how you can use music to your advantage in your life. So I don't know, that's just something I was running through in my head, but I think it's something I might want to do this week because now we've already introduced for the younger kids, and you can do this like I said, the experiment I introduced yesterday, which I did an experiment for the younger children. I needed, it was our anniversary. I just wanted to do something a little bit quicker. But it was a real basic experiment. Like, all I had them do was take 2 paper plates, bowls, I should say, put some beans in one of the bowls, put them together, staple them shut, do some art decorations, and your children made their own drum, right? And then from there, I did a simple lesson on how to introduce them to beats. And then also for tempo. Like, if you wanted to introduce tempo, right? It's 1 1 2, 1 1 2, 1 1 2, 1 1 2. Speed up the tempo. Speed up the tempo. Speed up the tempo. Speed. Right? Or slow down the tempo. Slow down tempo. The syllables are off here, but you get it. Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down. Right? So you can introduce these concepts, but even in like with the drum, like you can take that same assignment and make a cooler drum, which I actually think I might just have you guys do that this week now that I've said it out loud because it just sounds so cool. And it's the type of activity where you can really get your children into what they're doing. And it's cool to make your own drum. Yeah, I mean, music is awesome. Music is awesome. So you can play music, he'll really appreciate it then. And I know he'll really appreciate it then, right? Because musicians are cool. It's cool. And, you know, you could hold a crowd. Like, Owen Benjamin's a great example. The way he plays the piano and he riffs, he could always hold a crowd. Tom Burnett, when he plays the guitar, he could always hold a crowd. Someone who could play music could hold a crowd, and there's a lot of value in that. And then, throughout their childhood, music is one of those things where you can get your children entrepreneurial experience. They could set up a tutoring thing for younger children in the town. They can start a jingle business where they make jingles for local businesses or for online creators, right? Like, you have them make the jingles, send them to these creators or businesses for free. after a few of these businesses say, oh, this is cool, I'm going to use this, start using it, you take a clip from their commercial or a clip from their YouTube channel, you make a website, you put it on the website, and now you have a business, because now you can send people to that website and say, look what I've done for other creators, look what I've done for other businesses, and at this price, we can do this for your company or your social media, right? So you can get children entrepreneurial experience doing this stuff, and we really want to make it a goal every school semester. You don't have to go crazy, but every semester from the time your children are 5, you want to embed one thing entrepreneurial at least. And as they get older, that could become more complex, right? As they get older, when they're 15, their entire education could be based around whatever entrepreneurial thing they want to do. And don't ever let anyone tell you that's not a good idea. That's a phenomenal idea, right? Their entire education could be based around, now they're still learning things, but around the entrepreneurial stuff they want to do. And that's how we give our children an education that's worthy of freedom. Anyway, that's really what I wanted to cover today. ClassicalLearner.com, Homeschools Connected, discount code FREEDOM, $10 a month for anyone that wants to join. And I'm going to go back and answer your questions. It was Nicole and my wedding anniversary yesterday. That was pretty cool. I was pretty excited about that. We, for the first time in, I don't know how long, definitely since Aubrey was born, we actually went out on just Nicole and I, which was super cool. We never get to do that. And it's like, it is really nice to go on a date with your wife. It's one thing to, it's nice to go on dates and we bring the children, but it's really nice, to be on a date with your wife and to see my wife laughing and smiling and just less stress. And we went out to lunch, and we went to an antique store, which we love to do, and we were checking out all books from the 1800s, which is so cool. These old books and furniture from 1920. Really cool stuff. Came across this cast iron stove from, I don't know when it was from. I probably said, I don't know. Took a picture of it. But really cool, this cast iron stove. And we're actually going to get a cast iron stove for our house once it's built. So I'm even considering getting it. And it's at a cheaper price than the stuff they have at Home Depot and whatnot. So we'll see. But yeah, cast iron stove, all these cool cabinetures and tables and butter molds from the early 1900s, which are super cool. So much, they had so many cool things. And then we met this guy who makes custom tables out of this awesome, thick black oak wood, where, you basically pick a piece of wood and he makes it into a table. So we might do that for our kitchen table. But, yeah, we had a good time at the antique store. And then, yeah, it's just good. It's really cool. So we're happy we're able to do that. And I can't stress enough, and I don't do it enough, but every opportunity you get, date your spouse. You're battling through life together, and life's a struggle, and there's a lot of stress, but don't forget why you fell in love. Don't forget why you got together in the first place, and go out of your way, date each other, do fun things like that, because it's super cool, and it's great for the children because it only, rekindles the love that you have for each other, and that translates to just a happier household and everything that goes along with that, Internet cut out. Let's give the internet a second. Plus I'm not so low-key trying to convince all of you to have more and more children, because if we want to win the future, we have to have good people, and our community is good people. Oh, the internet's cutting out again. They're grabbling me. They're trying. Lost connection. Come on. Give me the connection. Give me the connection. Ah, we're back. Feel the vibration. Come on. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? You're failing me, Verizon. Can you hear me now? All right. I heard Cubs to Bears are awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, building a drum. Doesn't that sound fun? I think I got to make that happen this week. I got to go do some reading about how to make that happen. And then if I feel confident that I can make that happen, then we will. Yeah, my opinion would be hands-on and outside as much as possible. Unschool is awesome. Love the idea. He would love a kite. Yeah, it's a fun experiment we did, a fun project. I uploaded the specs for it into Homeschools Connected. So if you want to do that. All right, Morning Bear family. All right. Yeah, I'm excited about, don't quote me yet. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off this week, but preliminarily, I would very much like to do a secondary education lesson on frequency. And you know what? We can do, like, it could be modified for the younger children too. But frequency, vibration, I'm going to have to do a lot of reading though. Nikola Tesla. What kid doesn't love music? Nettie crushing. For anyone that hasn't gone to nettiegames.com, definitely check out nettiegames.com. When you get there, you'll be like, whoa, whoa. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, those are our wedding photos. And if you were wondering what Nicole was singing when she had the microphone, you guessed it. That was Whitney Houston. She was just... come on. Come on, connection. Is this because I'm getting a phone call? Who's calling me? Stop calling me. Stop calling me. All right, yeah, ha! Connection even with the call. I love it. Yes, that was Whitney Houston. Nicole was singing at our wedding. Don't get the old stove. They're a nightmare to update to work safely. So maybe I'll avoid that then. I got to look into it. And for the love of God, do not get that stove. Trust me. All right, you're swaying me. I feel like you know what you're talking about from your confidence, and now like, maybe I won't get that stove. Make their own frequencies. Mrs. Classical Learner's already on it. Yeah, Nick, I was saying that I want to do a lesson and teach them all about like 432 hertz versus 440 hertz. Maybe get these kids into classical music. They can listen to something of actual value. Yeah, Nettie Games, nettiegames.com, or nettiegames.com. They crush. So, all right, I really think that's what I wanted to cover today. I don't want to go too crazy. I have to go get the science experiment for this week completed and uploaded to you guys. And then I still have to film 2 videos today as well. So I got a lot of stuff I got to do, but I have things to do. Things to do. These videos don't film themselves. All right, guys. This has been a lot of fun. So anyway, classicallearner.com, Homeschools Connected, Freedom. And I'll be back tomorrow, sometime around 9:30 to 12:30. I just I know it's better to be consistent, but I've been really, I'm sure you guys have noticed, working hard to get you lesson plans, and I'm trying to make them very comprehensive. So what I've been doing is when Brady goes to bed at night, I start working on the lesson. I work on the lesson until I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, continue working on the lesson until it's done. And then that's been working pretty well. So I'm trying to build out, like, not even just experiments. I'm trying to turn every experiment into its own unit study. So that's where we're at right now. We're constantly building, we're constantly growing, and that's how you win. That's how you win the future. Why do you fight? Because we are here, boy. I love that. It was a Tyson Fury interview. It was like, why do you fight? Because we are here, boy. It was awesome. You too, Jen. Have a great day. All right, I'm gonna now sip on this cup and count to 10 for Melissa. Yeah, Crow hasn't posted it yet. I don't know. He originally told me 3 weeks, but he still hasn't posted it, so I don't know. I know what they do is very comprehensive, so I don't know how far back in the queue I am, but eventually he'll post that, which will be exciting, so. I mean, he's only posted, I think, like 4 or 5 episodes, I think, maybe more, since I did the interview. So, and when I spoke with him, I mean, like scheduling, I had to schedule weeks out. So presumably he's constantly filming episodes. They're 2 hours at a time. He has to, I mean, I was on the line with them for 2.5 hours, and we filmed for 2 hours. Very comprehensive. And that was after an interview, before I went on, so they have to edit all that. So they what they do is very comprehensive. Look at the CIA coming at me. Take it easy, CIA Bumblebee. I got nothing but love for you. He looks frantic, though. Looks like he's having a tough time. You're not stuck. It's just a net. You'll get out. I'll help you out. It's fine. I like you, Bumblebee. I like you. You're good for my plants. Thank you for being a friend. Oh, we're getting punny, people. We're getting punny here in the morning. Thank you for being a friend. All right, I gotta go.